Welcome to this episode of Everyday Genius. Today we're featuring G&S Manufacturing, and we're going to learn a lot about the trades they have here, the future of their trades, and what you can do to become part of this company. So I want to introduce you both. Go ahead, tell us your name, a little bit about yourself.
My name is Jessica Kleckel. I'm the daughter of Pat and Laura Stoddard, the owners of G&S Manufacturing. I've been with the company for 10 years, and right now my primary focus is accounting and human resources.
I'm Pat Stoddard. I'm one of the co-founders of the company. Been at this for 26 years now, I do believe. Been doing this all my life pretty much.
And you run the place.
Yep.
That's all right.
Try to.
Good. So Pat, please just go over a little bit. You have some amazing equipment out there, huge machines. Can you go over a little bit about what each of those are and what they do?
Okay. What we have is, like in the painting department, we have a blast booth that's 12 foot by 35 foot, I do believe, which is a grit blaster which profiles the steel for the paint. And we have two separate paint booths. One's 20 foot by 54 foot, and the other one's 20 foot by 40 foot. Those are able to take up big, heavy equipment in there. We put on a variety of paints, from zinc paints to epoxies, enamels, urethanes, pretty much everything under the sun. Then when you move over to the fab side of things, we have 3 press brakes. They range from 250 ton up to 500 ton, capable of bending up to 1 inch, 1.25 inch plate. And then if we move back towards the plasma table, there it's a 12 foot by 54 foot bed with 200 amp machines on it, capable of cutting. We can pierce through 1.25 inch plate with the plasma. We can lead in on 1.5 inch plate, but then if we need to go to something thicker, we can go up to about 6 inch plate using the torch on there, which is oxyacetylene torch. We also have 3 plate rolls. Largest one is a 5/8 by 10 foot long. And it's a computer driven with steady rest and everything to catch the material as it comes around. We have a pipe cutting machine, so for like when we're doing handrails, you draw the handrail in there like a round handrail pipe, and it'll actually saddle notch all the steel for the handrail, so the pieces basically just fit together. There's really just take a tape measure and double check it when you're done and tack it all together and weld it. We do get into angle rolling. So we can take like up to a 4x4 1/2 inch angle and roll it into like a 20 foot diameter if we need to put like at the bottom of a tank or something like that. We have 2 drill lines, so we're capable of drilling beams up to 40 inches tall, 3/4 inch thick, doesn't matter. It's through the tool coolant, so there's no water or anything like that all over. We have a wheel abrader for cleaning the material up, which has 4 25 horse wheels throwing steel shot at it, which cleans the steel up for the welding, so it makes for a better weld, cuts down the weld smoke, and helps prep it for paint. And we also have a multitude of other hand tools and saws and bevelers and all specialized turning rolls for turning big tanks and stuff like that as we're welding them.
Yeah, pretty amazing. And when we were on the floor, we saw lots of tape measures, right? Still
Yep.
even go back down to the smallest of tools.
Yep.
Yeah,
That's
great.
the most important one.
Yeah, exactly. So why don't we just go back and start from the beginning, where G&S started and how we got to where we are today.
Okay, it started in 1994. I had worked a few different jobs. I got laid off at one company. I just decided that was enough of that. I'm going to start my own company to control my own future. And with my welding background that I had at different places, such as Caterpillar, Industrial Air, Noam Steel and Recycling, this seemed to be a good fit, and there seemed to be a lot of demand out there at the time. So
Great.
started with 2 people, and it's kind of transformed into where we are now, which is 28 people.
28 people. So what kind of jobs do they fill?
So 28 people full-time. We have in the office, we have like the accounting, the human resources, design, safety. And then out in the shop, we have the welders, the fabricators, machine operators,
Maintenance.
Maintenance, painting, sandblasting.
Great. So continuing to grow. Like when did you get to this, or how quickly have you moved up? So 10 years ago you had how many?
It was probably about 2018 where we were up to about 15 employees, and then we've slowly been progressing up to the 28.
Great. So continuing to grow.
Yes.
So what I want to talk about a little bit is all the different trades that you have here, kind of their responsibilities, and what are the products that you make?
Okay. I'll start with the products that we make. We do a lot for the coal industry. We deal with the ash after the burn. We do feed mill type stuff, so we'll do like the structural supports. So say they're putting up a big new feed mill or something like that, we'll do the stairs, platforms, structural that supports bins, stuff like that. We build dust collectors, ag type stuff too. We also get into the seed corn side of things for processing plants there. We're kind of a job shop in general, so we'll do whatever the drawings are brought to us, whether it's stair towers to smaller jobs too. We do some smaller repair type stuff, but we try to focus more so on the big heavy industrial stuff
Okay.
as far as big tanks,
Great.
stuff like that.
And so walk me through the process. So you get a drawing in, and then what trades are implemented, or what do you need to get to that finished product? Let's just use your from the coal industry. So we're going to make a filter, and walk me through that process.
Okay, so first it starts out, they send us out the quote first. So we're quoting against other companies and that, so we got to put together a good bid on it, be competitive on it and that. And then once they're done, they send us the drawings. They have the engineered drawings, but not the shop drawings.
Okay.
So we have to go through and generate the shop drawings to put it to the floor. So the individual piece parts that need to get cut out, maybe there's some wiring and stuff involved along the way, ordering purchase parts that may be needed, like flanges, gaskets, stuff like that, bolts.
And so that's all your front office people, right?
Yep.
And what kind of background would they have to do those? Do you have drafters, or what are the skills needed on that front office?
Dan is like a design engineer.
Okay.
We also have another one in support of that, doing the drawings for like the cutting table and stuff like that, the drill lines and stuff like that. So like we get an order for the dust collectors too or something like that, we got to put all the piece parts together for the different models. So that guy also works on doing that, putting that order together, putting it all into a packet, sending it to Jess, and she gets a steel order for it, and then we push it to the floor, and the packets go out to the different operations on the floor, whether it's a drill line or plasma table, bending or rolling or something like that.
Okay,
and once
those
that's
are your
done,
fabricators. Is that right?
Yep.
What would those be?
yep, those will be fabricators. And then once that's done, then it slides over to the welding once all the piece parts are made. And then they finish welding it. Then once that's done, then it comes over to the paint building where it goes through blast and paint over here and final inspection and packaging.
Great. So a lot of different trades are going on, and they have to rely on each other to get to the right finished product. So it's still a team effort, even though you have different trades working together.
Yep.
All right. So when you bring in a new employee, what are the most important skills you're looking for, and what kind of training are you expecting on, say, a welder or a fabricator, your paint sprayers, draft? I mean, you have quite a few different ones. So what are you looking for if somebody turns in their application?
So what we do a skills test upon hire, whether it's like tape measure, depending what they're getting into, weld tests and stuff like that. But a lot that we look at is their drive and their work ethic and stuff like that. And then we feel if they have a good working background that we can build off of there.
Good.
So like when it comes to the welding and stuff like that, we prefer either like the 6-month course at South Central, or if they do have like a 2-year welding program, that's even better. But it's good to have the background and the knowledge from welding, and then we can build the skill set off of there.
Great. And what about painters and things? You know, it's a really pretty technical skill that you wonder where are these people getting trained?
Yep. The painting is a harder one because of the painting that we do due to the different types of paints we do, because we're doing the zincs, the enamels, epoxies and stuff like this. These are a lot of paints that are not normally seen elsewhere because they're kind of high end for like coal industry and stuff like that. So there's a lot of that that gets trained here. If we can get the basic skills that to come in with some past painting experience or willing to learn too, and anybody that's willing to learn, we're willing to train too.
Okay.
So there's a lot of opportunity there, and it's a good paying job too. So.
For sure. So give me just a starting range for your different tradespeople that come in. Where do they normally start for pay?
Most things are coming in, and whether it's painting or welding, it's probably coming in around $19 an hour. Maybe if you're in packaging or something like that, it might be down a little bit lower, but most things are starting out around $19 an hour.
Great.
And then going up just based on experience.
And time, right?
Yep.
And, yeah. And you guys have a really good culture here. So tell me a little bit about some of the fun things that you do here.
So being that it's a family-owned business, we kind of have the benefit of kind of doing the family or kind of different fun activities. We like to play games like bingo and stuff on break, or just different things that we do. I'm trying to think of different projects. Like we do a few fundraising stuff just in-house to keep everyone excited and kind of distract them from like the day-to-day work.
Yeah, I've seen you post, you have grill outs and you do quite a bit of fun stuff too. So there's a lot of perks that go with this job too. So if you have somebody that's in welding and they've done it for a few years and they want to cross-train into something else, is that something that they can learn here as well? You'll do that?
And that's basically how you get started here, because there's not a whole lot of people come with press brake history or anything like that, So generally what we'll take is if somebody seems like they're excelling in some of the welding and stuff like that, and seems to have the mathematical skills maybe or something that's for a little more advancement, we'll move them up into other stuff like that.
Great.
Some of that gets a little more technical when you get into it, but we're willing to train people.
Great. So there is room for advancement. I think that's a big misnomer when we look at trades, that become a welder and you're the welder for the rest of your life. But there's actually a nice progression. Some other things we've discussed would be like the weld inspector and other opportunities too. And
another thing too we do actually is, so say we're busy in the paint department and a little bit slower in the welding, we'll pull people out of welding and have them help with painting stuff too, whether it's prep package, anything like that, maybe sandblasting, stuff like that, and vice versa. If they're a little busy over here, we'll maybe send them over there too. So there's always opportunity to do different things, and if we see you excelling and you say you want to move into paint from welding, we're open to that too. So.
Right, so a lot of room for growth and change. I know you had mentioned too that you often have overtime, and so there's really a great opportunity to make some really nice pay as well through this company. Yeah.
And what we usually do with overtime too, it's always optional. We've never forced overtime on anyone, so the supervisor will say, hey, we have the overtime available, are you able to work it, type of thing.
Yeah.
So that no one's
Strictly
feels like they're,
voluntary.
So tell me a little bit about, do you do rotating shifts? Are you weekends, or what does the schedule look like
So
here?
the shop employees work 4 10-hour days every week. They start at 6:30 in the morning and then work till 5 o'clock. They get a half an hour lunch break and then 2 20-minute paid breaks.
Okay.
So we have 2 rotating shifts, so rotating day shifts. So the one group will work Monday through Thursday and then have off Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, and they come back Tuesday and work till Friday. So every other weekend they get that long
Nice.
4-day week.
And you don't do any overnights?
Nope,
No,
all day.
no. Okay.
Every now and then we'll have a weekend, but again, it's just optional or voluntary overtime,
Yep.
so
Nice.
it's up to them.
So really good hours too.
Yep.
And
Yep.
those guys that like to go fishing can take those
Yeah.
4-day weekends
Yeah.
all
You
the time.
really don't need no vacation time.
Yeah.
You have a 4-day weekend every other weekend.
Yeah.
So one of our as big ideas, we look at what is it that kids should know about these careers that they aren't hearing. If you don't have a parent in a trade or a role model in a trade, they're kind of overlooking these. What would be the piece of advice you would give to kids?
The demand out there is so heavy for this stuff right now, and they're good paying jobs, whether it's welding, electricians, to wherever. The actual hands-on skills are paying good money out there.
And you see the demand continuing to grow in the future.
Yep, there's definitely still a big shortage.
Yeah, and probably even bigger.
And it's also important too, the stuff they're doing is pretty impressive. So it's not like you're just coming to work, welding on this, and then going home at the day. Like, you're making a difference in the world structurally. And
Yeah,
building-
and you can tangibly see what you've
Yeah.
done at the end of the day. It isn't just on the computer and it's gone.
Yeah.
But you can say, I made that and I built that. And so as we look at smaller rural communities, this is a great opportunity too. We're seeing a lot of kids would like to come back to to New Ulms and Courtlands, and but they think that there aren't good jobs. And so this is a great opportunity for them to realize that you can make a good paycheck, you can live local, and you can have a 4-day weekend every now and again, not have to use vacation. So
And one other thing nice about what we do too is compared to other places, we're a job shop, so we're not like a production shop where, like when I worked at industrial air, all you did was weld on the air tank all day long doing the same weld, where this is all different stuff. You may spend one day doing prepping the materials, bending, shearing, rolling, forming, next day welding, next day cleaning up, and the day after that you're totally starting a whole different project, so
right,
you're not
so
stuck
keeping
on
it
the same
interesting.
thing.
Yeah. So do you ever have days that students do like manufacturing day where kids can come in and see what they would do here, or is there an opportunity from, if somebody saw this video and said, I'd be open to looking at these trades because it's again something they've never seen, what would be their next step?
I would say actually reach out and contact us. We have no problem giving tours or anything like that. We have a good relationship with South Central College. They come through 2 or 3 times a year, and they tour the school, and a few times we get like the local welding programs too to come through.
Great,
So.
great. And so that even if you aren't in the welding class and you hadn't ever considered it, I think that these are the opportunities that our kids really, if you can get in here and see it, and as you watch the video, you're going to see that this is really impressive, and it's exciting to know that it's here, and that there's so many great opportunities. And being a family company, I follow you on Facebook, and there's a lot of fun things going on here, and it looks like a really great place to work. So
Oh, thank you.
pretty amazing, and we appreciate you being in our community and the opportunities that you're giving to people that live here. So
Oh,
We
thanks.
appreciate it.
yeah, thank you. Well, thank you, and we're going to go. We'll finish our tour, and we'll go from there.
Sounds good.
Perfect.